Testing North Korea's illegal smartphones. I'm gonna be real, before we even started, I didn't know they had, like, their own brand of smartphone. Just because I assumed the majority of individuals in North Korea didn't own phones. Because the government control would probably it would be really hard to restrict that. But I'm assuming the people in poverty in North Korea don't own phones. I'm assuming it's people that live in, like, Pyongyang, like, somewhere where it's, I guess, more populated / like, you're allowed to have more luxuries, you know, because you live in the capital.
These are two extremely rare phones from North Korea, and it's kind of insane that I'm even holding them. The North Korean...
Why is one of them in English?
And holding them. The North Korean population is so cut off from the outside world that it's almost impossible to even get a text message out, let alone two fully functional smuggled phones that show us in crystal clear detail what it's actually...
Oh my god, does the map only show North Korea?
...like to be a North Korean citizen. So this is the Heian 701. It's one of the country's budget phones. Just to give you an idea of how little is known about this stuff, you can Google the phone's name and nothing will come up. Absolutely zero. And then the second is the Samtaesung 8, which is a flag...
Samtaesung? Samtaesung? Really? Really, that's the North Korean phone, Samtaesung 8?
North Korean phone. And yeah, this is different to South Korea's Samsung, which translates to 3 stars. This is Samtaesung, which translates to 3 huge stars.
I mean, we're really trying to one up South Korea here on the fucking phone usage. That's cringe. That's what they named that shit. 3 stars versus 3 huge stars.
A lot of this whole my dad could totally beat up your dad energy. But that's because convincing North Koreans that they are superior to South Koreans, that they are morally purer and militarily stronger, is about the most effective way of keeping them loyal to the government. And it's pretty clear when you look at these phones that the smartphone is playing a big part in that. I can actually...
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it definitely plays a part in the brainwashing, but I don't understand how, like, yes, even if you're grown into the North Korean society, kind of, like, believing how they function and also kind of, like, living it for generations, if you had a smartphone that's, like, clearly restricting you, I feel like you'd be like, what are they trying to hide from us? Or do you think it's like they just perceive it as a protection? Like, oh, Kim Jong-un's trying to protect me from bad Western ideologies. Or maybe they don't even realize that it's like being censored or like restricted. Maybe that's like what they perceive just the phone is able to do.
These phones. So if I write Namhan, this means South Korea. The second that I hit the spacebar, that gets auto-corrected to puppet state. It is bonkers seeing censorship this explicit happening in real time in front of my eyes. You physically cannot send the word Namhan even if you try, which shows just how committed North Korea's government is to sustaining its narrative that South Korea is this inferior, less individual country that just blindly follows whatever the US asks them to. Other ways of wording it, like Republic of Korea, that doesn't even get corrected. That just turns straight into asterisks. Kind of like you're a child and you just tried to make your Club Penguin username a swear word. And you can actually see the censorship becoming more invasive as time is going on. Because if we use this Heian phone, which came a few months before, this one lets you write North Korea as North Korea. But the Samtaesung doesn't even let you do that.
Oh my god, so it used to be less restricted and then they realized that they needed to make it even more strict, so they had to fucking come out with a, like, even worse version.
The only way that you're allowed to refer to North Korea now is Joseon, the traditional...
I mean, bro, and I'm assuming there's, like, heavy monitoring on these phones, no? I feel like we watched something about a North Korean, like, it might have been a phone where it, like, takes an image of your screen every 10 seconds or something. And there's like a guy monitoring it in case something happens where they have to be like, oh, what are you talking shit about Kim Jong-un?
And then South Korea, almost as if they're belonging to them, as South Joseon. But it gets worse, because Daily NK News, the guys who actually secured these phones in the first place, and whose basement I'm sitting in right now, they've probed around and found all sorts of extra oddities in the software. Like how, if you type Kim Jong-un, the name of the current leader, into any app, it will make the text bold the second you finish the word. Or how all sorts of South Korean slang is just subtly corrected to the more proper North Korean approved way of saying the same thing. Presumably because a lot of this slang originates in some capacity from South Korean media, and the North doesn't want their population.
Yeah, but then how the hell, if they're getting a lot of that slang from South Korean media, how would the North Korean people even have their hands on that slang or media to even be able to use it in their phones in the first place? If, like, internet access is restricted, whatever they see on TV is restricted, they're only allowed to see what is shown to them, then how the fuck, like, why do they even have that gateway of the slang if they don't even know what it is? That'd be like having an autocorrect for, like, Big Chungus if you don't know what Big Chungus is. Like, it's unneeded. Like, you're never gonna type it.
To even indirectly experience that. But probably the single craziest example of this is if we type oppa. This is a common South Korean expression that can be used to mean either older brother or, in slang terms, boyfriend.
이거 좀 따주세요, 오빠.
Which in itself does raise a few questions. On these North Korean phones, though, it corrects the word to comrade, accompanied by a warning. This word can only be used to describe your siblings. Imagine getting a warning for attempting to type a slang word. That's moderation on a level that I have never experienced before. But
what happens if you type, like, fuck Kim Jong-un? Like, would that, like, would, like, your phone just brick and they would, like, fucking seize you instantly? No, seriously, like, what if you, like, typed, like, some sort of threat? Like, they would be, like, your phone just explodes.
I would say even more significant than autocorrect, the biggest factor in controlling information going in and out of North Korea, and the main reason that the country is still this cryptic bubble and we barely know these phones even exist, is the internet situation. Or really, the lack of one. Look at this. On the Haeyang phone,
there is I want to also kind of side note here, there is, like, a level of US meddling that people claim goes on for foreign phones for us as well. Like, most US citizens that own a phone own an iPhone and don't really ever have access to, like, Huawei, which is the Chinese phone that is a lot of the time seen as more technologically advanced and more user-friendly and developed than the US iPhone and iOS versions. But, like, nobody owns a Huawei. It's, like, impossible to get a fucking Huawei.
you can swipe down from the top and you see your control panel that looks basically the same as every other Android's. And there's even a Wi-Fi button there, but when you press it, absolutely nothing happens. Weird, but let's go into settings to click on Wi-Fi directly, but you can't.
How the fuck does the phone work if you don't have LTE and you don't have Wi-Fi? What the fuck do you use the phone for? It's just constantly in airplane mode?
And they've actually gone a step further with this more recent Samtaesang, because you go into the quick settings, there isn't even a Wi-Fi icon at all. It's like they don't want—
What do you use the fucking phone for? The calculator app? Like, what am I gonna play offline Subway Surfers on the fucking phone? What do you use the phone for? You're not fucking connected to anything. Messaging, you can't message people without fucking connectivity. Or bars.
You to even consider that the feature could—
That's the point? Well, then don't even give them phones.
—be as accessible as that. The only way to get something that even resembles Wi-Fi is this. It's called Mirai, and it needs so many details from you, including your government—
Oh, shit. So they just, like, require— because it's too easy to just connect to something, so they restrict that, so you have to use an app that, like, tracks your Wi-Fi.
ID and an authenticated North Korean physical SIM card that it's pretty safe to assume everything you do while using it can be traced right back to you. And even with all of that, this still doesn't get you onto the internet. There's actually no way for a North Korean citizen to do that. All this can get you is access to a highly curated North Korean—
Whenever I see shit about, like, North Korean technology, I always remember, like, the videos of the Russians talking about how when North Korea sent their troops to help Russia in the war, the Russians always cited the North Korean people being, like, cripplingly addicted to, like, porn and cartoons. Like, because they've never seen it before, so it's like it was such like a culture shock for them that, like, their eyes were just, like, glued to the screen. Like, the technology that they have there, like the unrestricted access to the internet's, like, absurd.
Intranet, where you can look at specifically government-approved TV, news, propaganda, and apps. More on that in a bit, but the key thing to know for now—
Damn, bro. Do you think there's like any apps they could use that we use? No. Because it would be non-North Korean tech. I'm thinking like games. Like, dude, like Doodle Jump. Like, you think I feel like, bro, like, do you think they're like restricted from playing like Doodle Jump?
Is it doesn't look like it would be a great experience. The app itself tells you to expect speeds between 2 and 33 megabits per second, less than a 14th of the speeds that South Koreans are getting on their public Wi-Fi. I imagine.
Well, to be fair, doesn't South Korea also have the best Wi-Fi in the entire world? Like, by area? Like, their Wi-Fi's crazy.
The way that North Korea's leaders are seeing this is they know that the second they give their population access to the open World Wide Web, it's game over for being able to control the way they act and think. But then at the same time, they can't give the people nothing if they're trying to convince them that their country is truly superior to all others. Hence this careful substitution of traditional Wi-Fi features for this highly traceable Wi-Fi equivalent that reinforces national pride as opposed to diluting it. But those speeds are so dated. And to be honest, everything about using both of these phones feels dated. Like, it's pretty sad that this Samtae is one of their modern flagship phones. It was only released recently in 2023 in North Korea. It was priced pretty close to $1,000, but it looked.
What North Korean citizen is fucking affording that? Like, that's what I don't understand. It has to be people that are living in, like, the capital. Like, it has to be somebody that's living in Pyongyang, because, like, the average North Korean citizen is just, like, dead broke.
Looks like a mid-range Huawei phone from 2021. Actually, let me be clear. It
has to be people that I think they're also giving people the phones that are in like some sort of not substantial power, but they're in a position of luxury, or I guess they're well off enough to where like they would start looking for like tech. They would want the next thing. And if North Korea doesn't give them the next thing, then they're going to be like, okay, I'm not revolting, but there would be some sketchy shit behind the scenes.
Looks like a mid-range Huawei phone from 2021. I'm almost getting deja vu looking at it. The way the camera module has an identical style and position. The way the body and the screen curves around in a seemingly identical.
I mean, yeah, bro, they literally probably got a Huawei and went, how do we copy this but make it fucking 10 times worse so our citizens can't fucking do anything with it?
Even this incredibly unique Huawei-style cutout around the buttons and this red line in the middle of the power key is the same. Plus, for security reasons, I've got to keep the IMEI number hidden. But when we traced it back, it does look like this phone was manufactured in China, just like Huawei phones. So I think there's two possible.
So there's Chinese companies that are making phones for North Korean people. I thought they would have had that shit in-house.
Explanations. Either this phone was actually secretly made by Huawei themselves and supplied to North Korea for them to add their software layer, or Samtae just decided, we like the look of that one, let's copy it. Because you're about to see.
I would assume that's probably what it is.
This yourselves, but so much of the content on these phones is copied content already. Why not the phone design too? But also that, unlike the Huawei that this looks so similar to, this phone does have a thicker bezel and a notch, this extremely tasteless font on show throughout the whole user interface, and then the only form.
Yeah, can I say that? It's like a sad phone. Like, I wouldn't be able to guess what country it's from if you just handed me the phone, but I'd be like, this is a bad, like this is a shitty phone. It's a sad phone. Like, the font's shitty, bro. The font's shitty. The fucking look is like sleek, but bro, it looks like a fucking lithium battery. Like, it looks like I'm staring at something that would charge a fucking e-bike.
Form of branding on the camera is a feebly written 64 megapixel that gives me absolutely zero reassurance it's going to be a good experience. And it is not. On the Haeyang phone, we're just getting extremely poor, grainy image quality all around. And even though there are 3 cameras on the back of this phone, there is still no ultra-wide and no zoom. So both extra cameras are just useless macro and depth cameras. A trend that, globally speaking, started to die out pretty fast after 2020. And so the idea that this thing released in 2023 with that kind of setup shows the time lag that we're operating with here. And then on the flagship Samtae, the camera is super buggy. We couldn't even get it to flip around to the rear cameras. And it's also got this really unusual watermark plastered over it, which when we reverse, it spells out, please contact Heinetron. Now, I did a little digging and turns out Heinetron.
Anytime you take a picture, it fucking watermarks your face.
Is a small, private, China-based company who makes a lot of smartphone parts. So it kind of looks here like they've supplied some of the bits for this phone, but then North Korean Samtaesong has just like not paid their license fee or something. Regardless though of whether this phone is a secret Huawei collab or just a blatant ripoff, it doesn't change the fact that it is terrible value when you consider the global market. But that makes a lot of sense. With North Korea, we are talking about a very unusual market that has almost no competitive pressure. There's almost no incentive to give people cutting edge tech. And if anything, the more dated the tech, the simpler it is, and therefore the easier it is going to be to control. That would also explain why the Haeyong is still running Android 10 with seemingly no ability to update beyond that, and why Samtaesong is stuck on Android 11, making it 5 years worth of updates behind current Android.
I don't understand that about fucking update shit. Like, what is so bad? Is it like vulnerabilities? Like, what's so bad about not updating something that works currently? That eventually there's vulnerabilities that haven't been patched? Yeah, it's like security shit, but also probably like lag and glitches. So they're using like 5-year-old fucking software on a brand new phone.
Show you what I mean by all this copied stuff. So there is an
It'd be like running your computer today on like Windows 8.
App literally here with a Microsoft Word logo. You open it up and it gives you the option for Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. But I can assure you what you are getting here are not Microsoft apps, not even close in functionality. I would actually go as far as to say that at least 50% of the icons that you see on these phones are stripped directly.
I feel like they're unusable, dude. Video editor. There's people making fucking CapCut edits in fucking North Korea. Get the hell out of here. Theme manager, what is this?
Directly from other companies, like File Manager and Compass. Those are basically Huawei icons that are very slightly reskinned. Maps is an almost one-to-one of the Google Maps icon. This random game uses the same icon as the Mobi Office work application. But let's just zoom out for a second. Even the official Samtaesong wallpaper, I'm pretty sure they have literally just downloaded the wallpaper from an Honor phone and then added an 8 to it. And then if I go over here to the About Phone section, I recognize that image. That image is actually stripped straight from the promo material of the completely different looking Huawei Mate 30 Pro phone from years ago. And yet it is serving as the poster image for the Samsung.
I'm surprised they even put this much work into like making it look nice. Like, do you think that's a part of the appeal for the North Korean people? Is like they're really trying to con you into thinking this is a good phone? Because like is the average North Korean person that gets this phone like staring at this image and being like, wow, I really have the next big tech.
Samtaesong 8, which makes me side with the theory that this is a copy of Huawei as opposed to made by Huawei. Because if it was made by Huawei, surely the company would use an image that at least matched the design of the phone. There's a whole library of informational videos that you can buy as part of North Korea's intranet, like this one, all about the football club Arsenal. And on the face of it, you're like, oh, this is really premium, how professionally produced. But look a little closer, and you can see this is actually ripped straight from an Amazon Prime series. It's just instead of Stay in the Game, it's titled Sweat for the Win. And it's got the logo of a North Korean company plastered across the entire length of it. But there is literally no way.
Wait, and the North Korean people have to fucking pay for like a shitty cut, like rip of 480p Arsenal's Netflix, or not Netflix, Amazon Prime documentary. Like they're paying for like a 480p rip of like a shitty, not a shitty documentary, but like a shitty version of a documentary.
That this North Korean company could have bought the license to sell this content.
Why doesn't somebody do something about this? Yeah, Zach, why doesn't Amazon fucking sue North Korea for fucking copyright infringement?
There are literally sanctions on US companies like Amazon for collaborating with them. There's games too, tons of them, but I just want to show you this football game for a second. It opens with bizarrely the same logo that we just saw on the Amazon Prime show, so it seems like this is some sort of large-scale media redistribution brand who's taking international content and making it North Korea compliant. Then we see the boot up screen with the game's title being International Soccer League 2.0, which is just so
Is this just FIFA Mobile? Is this just a rip of FIFA Mobile? They like change all the players to like North Koreans though. It's like messy, but they just like change it. Like everybody's just reskinned just like fully. Like, it's just every team's just only North Korean citizens.
Interesting, because this shot of Messi's face, I reverse image searched it, is not from International Soccer League 2.0, but instead a screen grab from a trailer of Japanese-made Pro Evolution Soccer. The other thing that I think is absolutely fascinating about this football game is the Asian players are missing. Like, you can select the team.
I was joking. I was fully joking. There's no way they got rid of all the Asian people if they weren't North Korean.
Team, Tottenham Hotspur, with all the correct roster as of 2022 when the game was launched.
But they're missing all the Asian people.
But with the only South Korean member of that team, Son Heung-min, not present. They just chopped him. Again, presumably to not show North Koreans that South Koreans have proper international...
Oh my god, bro, because no. Yo, they had to do that. Because if you were playing this game as a North Korean citizen, you'd be like, wait, this guy's on a fucking UK professional soccer team, and he's from fucking South Korea?
Athletic careers. In fact, just the general situation with apps in North Korea is so different to what you and I are used to. The first thing that jumps out is there's just so many of them. Like, have you ever seen this?
I low-key feel like this phone emits radiation, but like not like ionizing radiation. Like this, I feel like this phone, like if you slept next to it, would probably cause some health problems.
This many apps pre-installed on a smartphone. This right here is a medicine app, but a medicine app where you can order whatever you might need for home delivery. There's maps with navigation too, although fascinatingly, it doesn't show a clear dividing line between North and South Korea, and also doesn't let you zoom any further out than the country itself. It's a little bit more advanced.
Bro, you can't see the fuck. Do you think they have a globe? Do you think they have a globe? Do you think they teach? Bro, we've seen so many documentaries about North Korea. I don't think I've ever actually asked that or, like, looked into that. Do they know what, like, the continents look like?
Than I was expecting in
They have to. They have to.
some ways too.
The Earth's flat? I don't think they think the Earth's flat because there's no religion. There's no religion, and that's where, like, it kind of got phased out. There would be no reason for them to say the Earth's flat.
Like, there's a store here where you can buy things like
And there are genuine fucking scientists in North Korea. Like, dude, there's people working on, like, military high-grade, like, physics-based shit.
smartwatches and
So they know the Earth's round.
TVs, all using an electronic wallet, and it's part of the intranet. It's also on this phone really surprising to see if we look past the logo that is very clearly just an NBC ripoff. This is...
It's so weird, though, that they're just, like, choosing random logos to just kind of rip for different apps.
online gambling, with even the option
Huh? North Korea has gambling?
of the intranet. It's also on this phone really surprising to see if we look past the logo that is very clearly just an NBC ripoff. This is online gambling, with even the option for sports betting, as well as just
What fucking sport are you gonna bet on? North Korean sports?
a pretty hefty catalog of video content that you can download.
Oh my god, how much are you gonna bet that shit's fucking rigged to the gills? Oh my god. Betting on a fucking North Korean football match, and you fucking throw like $5,000 on some shit, they're like, just lose. Just lose. I go, okay.
Download onto the phones. But you can also see that the North Korean government's influence permeates every layer of this, even the types of movies available. I couldn't find one from the US or South Korea, but Russian movies? Loads of them. Remember, the criteria here is not which movies does the North Korean population like the most, it's which movies does the regime want the population to watch. And so it makes sense that it's all filled with Russian content, since Russia is one of North Korea's closest political allies, and Russian ideologies line up very closely to North Korean ones. There's also, weirdly...
Yeah, but it's Russian ideologies, but it's not just Russian film. What's that one movie where they use real bullets that was a Russian film that we watched? Come and see. I'm telling you right now, the North Korean people do not have access to come and see. That's like an anti-war, like, movie about how horrible it is for people, and it ruins lives, families, and fucking everything. Yeah, no shot in hell they'd have that.
A bunch
They have access to Russian films that are pre-approved.
of Indian movies, including ones that I've seen before, like 3 Idiots. The link between North
What?
Korea and India isn't as clear-cut, but the guys from Daily NK have a theory that Indian culture hits a bit of a sweet spot. It's kind of different enough to seem exotic and interesting to North Koreans, but
Oh, but they won't want it.
but while still not posing a threat to their culture
Yeah, it's not gonna make them want to change their own culture.
in the way that Western content does. And then there's just a whole load of apps that feel not just guided by the government, but directly requested by them. Like this one is entirely biographies of past and current North Korean rulers. Something else I've never seen before is a general guidance app, which is split into 4 categories: laws, regulations, a legal dictionary, and then common sense, which really is exactly what it sounds
You imagine you're doing some sketchy shit on your fucking North Korean iPhone, and like out of nowhere you just get a fucking phone call and it's just Kim Jong-un's face. It's like John Pork, but worse.
like. It's so strange. It's like,
Like way worse.
how should we legally understand the family? Who are relatives? Can't relatives marry? I wonder if the idea is giving
Wait, what?
legally understand really is exactly what it sounds like. It's so strange. It's like, how should we legally understand the family? Who are relatives? Can't relatives marry? I wonder if the idea is giving every single person the same set of ideologies and learnings, and even there's like a humor section here, so that they affect
Yeah, it says something about same-sex marriage. I'm assuming North Korea doesn't like gay people.
effectively become the same person, to squash individuality. There's even a cooking app which guides you through how to make traditional North Korean cuisine. And all of these more official looking apps, they open by first showing you a famous quote from one of their leaders, which so feels like something you'd see on the loading screen of a dystopian video game, but this is real life. And then there's also just a ton of games to play.
Oh my god, ton of games to play. This shit looks like it was made by ChatGPT yesterday. That looked like some shit I would have played in like 2008.
Most of them feel pretty simple, with a big emphasis on offline play, which is true for the whole phone experience. It's actually wild how much we've been able to show and do, and that's all no doubt because the internet situation in North Korea is so sketchy. So crazy amount of stuff on both of these phones. But there's a very good reason for that. See, getting new apps is not as easy for North Koreans as it is for us. They have an app store. You can download apps on your own, but, and I can't actually quite wrap my head around how this is the reality, you can't open those apps until you've taken your phone to an in-person store where they will authorize them for use and download the necessary back-end data for them to function. And believe it or not,
What? So if you want to download an app to use it, you have to basically redo like a background check at like a physical fucking phone store for them to like give you access to play fucking Flappy Bird.
there's an extra wrinkle that comes with this. Your apps in North Korea expire. So this one here is telling me it's
Oh my god, you have to get renewed access to use an app. Oh my god. Do you have to pay? Is that money?
run out, and is basically asking if I want to pay for 6 months or for 12 months for a bit of a discount, effectively making
Oh my god. Don't let EA get their hands on this. Don't let EA get their fucking hands on this. North Korea's charging people to use an app. They have a paid subscription service for like a fucking free thing. Like just a regular app you would use on your phone.
free app a paid subscription, even ones you would not expect to be, like the laws of North Korea. Bearing in mind, North Korea is one of the poorest countries in the world, with its national income per person being just 3.4% of that of South Korea.
Then how are they buying phones? This has to be solely restricted towards like the top 5% of North Koreans. Like I could see the average not the average North Korean. I could see like a middle like not middle class. I want to say the median North Korean individual by income having like a pager where they have like a phone that like is so restricted. It's basically just like a flip phone where they can call like 4 people, and it's like how they talk to their boss, or like if the government needs to send them a message or something. Like I could see that, but I feel like this is just not, no one has this.
Concept of being able to sustain a large library of apps is a luxury that very few will be able to afford. And that's assuming you
Oh my god, imagine you have to pay to use settings. Sorry, your settings subscription expired. You have to pay us $40 to use the settings app.
can even afford the phone
But we already uninstalled it because you didn't pay for it. So now you need to go in person to get settings reinstalled. You didn't pay to use the app store, so you can't download apps. You need to pay us to be able to use the app to apps to get the app store. Well, here's the real conundrum. The App Store app got deleted off your phone. So even if you did go in person, you wouldn't be able to reinstall it because they can't re-download the App Store. You just should have paid for it. So your phone's basically a brick. You're going to need to buy a new one.
Did find a way to sideload your apps without going to a physical store for that authorization, or if you found a way to get around the app expiration system, which we realized.
Do you think you have any North Korean viewers? No. We're 16 minutes into this video, and you just asked whether or not you think they have YouTube?
As you could temporarily do just by changing the date on your phone to an earlier one. There's a very important reason.
Wait, you could jailbreak the phone, huh?
That's assuming you can even afford the phone in the first place. Now, even if you did find a way to sideload your apps without going to a physical store for that authorization, or if you found a way to get around the app expiration system, which we realized you could temporarily do just by changing the date on your phone to an earlier one, there's a very important reason why.
I would be fucking mortified to do that as a North Korean citizen. My God. No, I'm fucking following the rule book by the fucking book, dude. Oh my God. You have a North Korean iPhone, you're like, oh, they want me to pay to reuse this. What if I just change it back a year and redo my subscription? You just hear your phone just starts going, I'd chuck it in a river.
Why you might not want to try that in North Korea. And it's called Red Flag. Red Flag is an underlying layer of surveillance software that appears on all phones sold in North Korea. We know it exists because we can see the effects of it, and I'm told older versions used to be really easy to see and get around, but in these newer phones, Red Flag is now baked into the lowest level of the Android software, making it almost untraceable and impenetrable. Plus, it blocks off developer settings, which you can normally unlock by tapping this build number several times, meaning that it stops you figuring out what is really going on behind the scenes. But the idea of Red Flag is to persistently make sure that what you're doing on your phone is legitimate. So every file, every app, every photo that you take has a digital signature, a record that signals to the phone
you
where—
start fucking snapping pictures of your butthole, dude. Oh my God, dude. There's just one guy at a big fucking he's at like a fucking huge monitor screen in North Korea, just like monitoring everybody's phones. He's just like, dude, what's this one guy doing?
That file originated from.
Holy fuck.
Red Flag makes sure that
they like come flag you down. You're like, dude, I don't know. I thought I had like an abscess or something.
the only files or apps that can be opened on these phones are either ones with the North Korean government signature or a self-signature, which is files that originate from the phone itself, like photos from your camera. Anything else originating from anyone else won't have an approved signature, and so will not open. It'll just get automatically deleted by the software when it's sent to one of these phones. Now,
oh, so you're not in trouble, it'll just remove it.
that doesn't seem to have stopped people from trying to get unauthorized content to work. There was an extensive report from Martin Williams and Niklaus Scheiss, which goes into how some would try to skirt the system by opening foreign files via the phone's web browser. But now that the signature checks are happening on a deeper device level, it can pick those up. It doesn't work. Or there was a Daily NK report last year that mentioned while North Koreans couldn't store outside videos on their phones, they could insert SD cards containing the material into their phones instead. However, there is one final, very sinister surveillance feature, clearly designed to deter any attempts at this. These devices, both of them, will take periodic screenshots as you're using them. I
thought that was the red flag thing. What the fuck? Am I stupid? That's what I thought he was just talking about. Like that it was just showing times and you couldn't click on it. Isn't that what it is?
See these screenshots being taken in the same way that you'd expect to. But you know it's happening because I can actually show you the folder where they're being stored. I can see this has actually been taking screenshots today while I've been recording this video. The frequency of the shots seems to vary, but it's many times per day. And the most alarming part—
yeah, that is very... Do you think it's on a random timer or what? Because it was like an hour and a half, like a day. But oh, wait, no. I'm looking at it backwards. Wait, am I? I feel like this isn't organized. It looks like it could take it every like 10 minutes or every 5 hours.
Many times per day. And the most alarming part of it is all you can do is look. You can't click on them. You can't check them. You can't delete them. Now, whether the phones are sending those grabs over the intranet to the government continuously, or if they're just used when an official has doubts about you and wants to specifically confirm their suspicions, it's anyone's guess. But would you want to risk it in North Korea? Based on accounts from people who've escaped, this is a country which, since at least 2020, has had a law that spells out distributing and even just watching South Korean entertainment is punishable by death. People who distribute...
Bro, that... Watching like Squid Games, it would give you would get the death penalty. Watching Squid Games, they would kill you. Like, that is a crime that not like you're a serial killer that murdered fucking 15 people. No, sorry, you watched an anime. Now you die, and your family's getting thrown in a camp.
This content are tried alongside drug criminals. It's considered the same tier of crime, which says a lot about the priorities of the regime. So it really feels like every part of these devices, from the words you're allowed to type to the videos you're allowed to watch, are designed to reinforce a single narrative. North Korea is superior, foreign influence is dangerous, and everything you do is being watched. It makes me very grateful for how easy tech is made for the rest of us.
Is this an ad? It's an ad. Yo, I was gonna say, that's wild, though, that they're charging $1,000 still. Like, they're charging the price of an iPhone for something that does 1/30th of what an iPhone does. Anyways, that was a fun video to watch. Next.